few months ago, our game looked like this. Our game was confusing to navigate, you would consistently get lost, and it just wasn't fun to explore. And this is what people told us. We had a few playtesters and they gave us some invaluable feedback. And to resolve this issue, we immediately thought of maybe adding a mini-map. But the more we talked about it, the more we began to realize that this didn't really solve the real issue. And as a level designer, I took it upon myself to look at the greats and what they did in the exploration department to stand out and make that fun. And maybe I could even learn a few things. And that's what this video is about, what I learned and how we applied it to our game. So yeah, let's get into it. So who has done it well? Well, the first two games that came into my mind that kind of matched our game in general was Minecraft and Dead Cells. Our game is a top 2D pixel art game, so how does Minecraft make sense in our game? Exploration. Minecraft does exploration in such a intuitive and fun way, and you can get a map in Minecraft, but many people don't. It's completely optional, and many people prefer to play without it. So what does Minecraft do to make it so fun to get lost? Why is it fun to get lost in Minecraft? I think it really comes down to you just don't know what's gonna happen. The possibilities are endless. You might come across a desert temple, you might find a woodland mansion. The possibilities seem endless. It's just that sense of wonder that Minecraft does so well. So trying to encapsulate that wonder and intrigue felt like a must for our game. So that was one of the main things we took from Minecraft. The other game I mentioned was Dead Cells. Again, this is a side-scroller 2D Metroidvania roguelike game. So how does that have to do with our game and exploration? Well, our game, like Dead Cells, has floors and levels and different areas that you go to in order. And as you progress through these levels, you continue to get stronger, pretty much like Dead Cells. Whereas Dead Cells is a 2D platformer, ours is a top-down, kind of like Enter the Gungeon. It's an amalgamation of all kinds of different things. But in the level regards, our game is very similar. So how does Dead Cells make it so much fun to do what we're basically doing? Where we're failing, how does Dead Cells excel? Dead Cells makes exploring super rewarding, sort of like Minecraft. There are tons of weapons and items and skins and all kinds of stuff you can get in Dead Cells. And just exploring one more room, one more hallway, you might find the one item that you need. And it's all about that risk and reward. But it wouldn't be as rewarding if those items were not so interesting. And I think that's the thing we're going to kind of use from Dead Cells, is to try to make the rewards as interesting as possible. Make the player want to explore and just go around that last corner. That's what made Dead Cells special to me and made me want to keep playing. And I think that's what I wanted to take from Dead Cells. So before I jump into how we implemented those things into our game, I wanted to talk a little bit more about where our game was and how it was lacking in a few areas and what people and play testers told us about it. A few of the things people were saying was it was easy to get lost, it was like a maze and confusing, and just wasn't fun to explore, which is kind of the crux of our game. Like a lot of people, we want our game built on replayability. We want people to come back again and again, wondering what they might find and build out their kits and all that jazz. And we knew if we didn't nail that one aspect, we knew we would fall short of the main goal. And a few games that came into mind that did miss that mark, Chasm was a roguelike, procedurally generated 2D pixel art game, and people dislike it greatly. I've never played it. Maybe it's good. I'm sure people like it. And so there are clear markers that we wanted to dodge when we were coming up with this idea. So we went back to the drawing board and tried to reconceptualize our idea with fun exploration and wonder and exciting new things in mind. And we ended up redoing all of the rooms. See, our game is procedurally generated, and how it works is within Unity, you have different cells and you plug in the rooms to the cells, and then when you start the level, it builds out the room. Each room had an entrance and an exit, and that was pretty easy to understand. One of the main issues we realized is that rooms that had 4 entries or exits made the dungeons or layouts humongous, just because it increased the odds of there being more rooms and there being a possibility of getting lost and it becoming maze-like. So the first thing we did was remove the 4 entry or exit pathways in our game. This made the dungeons way smaller and much more easy to navigate because you were just going down one path. like I said, it just made the dungeons so much smaller and easier to explore. We also made the rooms smaller, and this again made it so that we didn't have all these little closets and things that people would wander into, and they weren't really, I mean, they were supposed to go in there, but there was no incentive to go in there. So it would be like, why is this room here? There's nothing in here. And that helped out a ton because it kind of limited the exploration, which is interesting, and you would think you wouldn't want that. But an interesting thing about game development and level design is that limiting the player can actually help the player feel good about playing, help the player feel good at playing. Did I just say that twice? Help the player accomplish things. That helps the player feel successful, and that feels good, and that's what we want the player to feel. So with less rooms and smaller rooms, it made the dungeons much easier to explore. People got lost less often, and it helped streamline the experience. This helped bring what we learned from Minecraft into the table, of helping the player explore and uncover things in a natural way that helped the player feel good about doing it, which is what Minecraft does and what we kind of took from it. The other aspect, what we learned from Dead Cells, in our game, you get items, you get power-ups, you get magic abilities, and you also get companions. All of this I'm going to talk about in a future video, but you wouldn't find too many of them within the level. So we bumped it up. Now we're adding even more companions, more items, more spells, all of that stuff upped, and we're looking into having special rooms and marketplaces and all kinds of stuff like that. These are just a few of the things that will help reward the player for exploring and what we're going to do. We're also going to, like I mentioned, have level variety. So we have a dungeon right now, and we have a forest right now, and we're working on the desert and swamp areas, but we're going to have a variety of levels with different companions to get, different items to get in those areas. Seems like a lot, but it really isn't. And again, we hope this will encourage players to explore and have fun doing it, and also be rewarded for doing it. We're working on getting a playable version of these updates coming up soon, but you can actually go play the old version right now on our itch.io page. I'll have a link to the description below. Thank you guys for being here. If you want to stay up to date on the updates for our game, hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment below as to how you would add these elements to our game. How would you do it? I would love to hear, because I'm always looking to learn, which everybody should be. But let us know what you think of our game. Leave us some feedback. We'd love to hear it. Thank you guys so much for being here. And I'll see you next time.